All right, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you guys are listening in from in the world. My name is Adriane Bardier, part of the Mike Billions Group, the best group in the world. Okay, we will make history here, and I'm glad to be a part of that. Um, Got a couple people trying to join on here. Um, the hope Mike was just on. Hopefully, my audio and everything is. So you guys lost, and we'll go ahead and get started. Today, we're going to be talking about support and resistance. Support and resistance is one of those things that, I mean, you definitely need to master before you can move forward in trading. A lot of times we're so eager to trade, so eager to make money, and we don't get the basics down. And without a basic, foundation, you're just gonna have wins and losses, not consistent growth. So you got to make sure that you master these basics, master one set of basics, and then move on to another set. So last week I talked about price action, about support and resistance first, but it's okay. We're all learning here. So to start, I like to start with logic, just to break down support and resistance. You hear the support is the floor, resistance is the ceiling. I try to humanize trading and realistic and simplistic as possible because trading can get really difficult, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be as complex as people make. If you can understand support resistance, price action, and most importantly, the psychology of buyers and sellers in the market, you can master this thing. All the other stuff can just fall into place. Market geometry and all that stuff can get really complicated. But if you just really nail the basics, you could get this. You can really get this. I'm a witness. When I first started trading, I was like, what is this? What in God's name is this? This is the devil, is evil. But I started doing my research. The market was created by man, not God. Okay, maybe if it was created by God, we would be up to a challenge. But it was created by man, who is no different than any of us. So there's no way why any of us shouldn't master this thing and move forward and become totally rich off of it. I mean, you start trading to make money. That's just the reality of it. And you also need to know that this system is set up for you to fail. Like, know that, learn that, and accept that. It is set up for you to fail. So that needs to be your driving force. Like, no, not absolutely not. I will not fail. That's my driving force. But anyway, I don't want to get too personal. To break down support and resistance, there's my definition of it with a little help from dailyforex.com. But basically, I look at support as buyers and I look at resistance as sellers, okay? Because that is what the market is made of, buyers and sellers in the market. Of course, we don't move the market. Also know and understand that. We, as retail traders, do not move the market. It is the hedge funds, it is the big corporations, the banks. They have the capital to move the market. We're just in their lead. But if you really study and get this, you can kind of anticipate what moves are going to be made before they're made. And you have to start looking at the market as a whole. It's not just you looking at one pair. You need to look at everything that's going on in the news, combined with how much percentage your pullbacks are happening. Are you at a level where the market can reverse on you? Like, you have to start looking at it as a whole. This is why we tell new traders, don't focus on so many pairs at one time. When you start, you will get totally confused. You need to focus on one or two pair and learn how the market works as a whole. So this is what I mean by looking at support as buyers and resistance as sellers. Here you have support. When you reach a level of support, you have buyers coming into a market. That level is important to buyers. That's a low price where they want to buy. So you see buyers coming to the market. Once you reach a level of resistance, you have sellers coming to the market because that price is very interesting to sellers. So you see them start coming into the market. Hence, you have your buy and sell patterns. Of course, it's not as simple as that, but I just wanted to put a little logic to it. So now I'm just going to take it to the charts. And I like to make sure you guys understand to always bring psychology into this. You have to understand how other buyers and sellers are thinking in the market. That's what it's made up of, buyers and sellers. You have to choose which one are you today. Are you buying or are you selling? And you always start with the higher time frame. Yes, Mike teaches us to go to the weekly and to mark our areas. We go to the line chart and we mark our areas of support and resistance. And you see me doing that now, something that we should probably already know how to do. Going to the weekly gives you a better outlook of the big moves, of the major moves that are being made. So that's very important. Any chart you look at, any trade you're trying to get in, you need to have your support and resistance areas. Note I say areas marked because it's not one line. Your numbers and your areas and zones on your chart are going to be different from mine. So it's not just one line. It's not as simple as that. It's going to be an area. When people ask me, hey, Adriane, what's your take profit? What's your stop? Really give them a specific number. I just give them like an area because price changes. It constantly changes. So what are you looking for? You're looking for areas that the market turns, especially on the weekly. Go to the line chart. The line chart really shows you these areas where the market turns or price holds. That's very important. This area here, this is where price held. This is where price held. It served as support here, support here, support here, served as resistance here. So you have an area that serves as support and resistance. That's a really strong area. And nobody's wrong. Yours is going to be different from mine. Mine is going to be different from yours. But we need to be in the same like roundabout area. So that's pretty much to start right there. I may not have all of them marked. I just want to quickly do that. So after we do that, we could go to the weekly. We mark our support and resistance areas. Then we come down to the daily, and you can see the difference. You can see how it actually plays out, how these areas are very important. And price has a memory. It really does. It seems to go back to previous areas. Even if the area was 2 or 3 years ago, it seems to find those major key areas. So it's very important that you understand how to mark your zones. So you got to practice that. And to do that, you have to mark up charts daily. Not just one chart, not just 2 charts. Like you need to be marking up several charts every single day. And after a while, it would just be like second nature to you. You'll get in there, you see the levels, you're more, I mean, you have to practice. There's no other way to master this if you don't practice. Do not get frustrated with yourself and down on yourself if you're not doing the work. You have to do the work. So, that's just whatever your own personal goals are. So, so that brings us down to the daily, and which is a very important time frame. Yes, I look at the daily as the big boy. You guys already know that. And when I see support and resistance areas on the daily, I think, okay, what areas are the big boys interested in? It puts me in the mind frame of, okay, let's say you're driving a car. I humanize and put psychology on everything. Let's say you're driving a car and you come across a speed bump, right? One second, guys. Okay, sorry, guys. My husband's just getting home from work. Hey, honey. Hey. Okay, sorry. Okay, so it puts me in the mind frame of a car. You're driving down the road. You see a little speed bump. So you go over the speed bump. You're cool. You keep driving. You see a bigger speed bump, so big that if you go over this speed bump, it's going to mess up your car. So if you're a sane person, you're not going to go through that speed bump. You're going to turn around and you're going to go back the other way. That's how I see zones on the daily. if a zone is big enough for a big boy to approach it and turn around like this, you have a strong sell, and then you have another strong sell, and your big boy turns around and goes another 400 pips. This is very important. If our big boy is running from this area, then we need to be running from that area too. So that's what I mean by being very precise and learning about support and resistance zones. It's very, very important. So let's dive into it a little bit in more detail. So of course this is the daily. We're gonna take it down to, let's say, the 4 hour. This is NU. NU had a really, 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 really strong downtrend. I wish I had caught that. That was nice. That was nice. That's like, oh man, that's 400 and some pips. That's downtrend. But remember the weekly. If we didn't catch it down, we can catch it up. If this breaks and closes and pulls back, then we may be looking at a continuation down. But so far, price is showing us that it's looking like it's getting ready to go back up. For now, we know things change in Forex. So let's dive into it a little bit. Okay, so I want to get in more detail about what really happens at these zones where price turns. Yes? Okay, so I'm so hoping that everything is okay. Let me just do a mic, everything, a check, make sure everything is on. And, okay, so far everything is okay. So guys, don't murder me if the recording is not right. So let's go into detail a little bit more about these zones where price seems to reverse. Someone is on. Who's on? Who's on? Who is
Hey,
it? Who is that?
it's Chinelo.
Hey, girl.
Hey, sometimes, oh Lord, I'm gonna whoop this laptop.
Girl, you on. I'm so glad you're on. Okay, so you can help me here. Do you see my screen and my mouth and hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, I can see the screen. I can see the mouse. It's not. Yeah, I see it.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so let
It's
me,
like a green dot, like a
yes,
lemon. Yeah. I see
yes.
it.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going. So I'm talking about support and resistance. I'm glad you joined, Chanello. Um, talking about support and resistance, I want to talk more in depth about this area here where price tends to reverse. That's kind of what throws us off a little bit.
Mhm.
So of course, we have this strong, strong, strong down move. And once price reaches an area, because of course this is one of the areas that we weekly, it reaches an area where it says, okay, maybe I don't want to go down anymore. So it starts to show a little bit of price action and starts the buyers come into play. When you reach a support level, then you need to start looking for buyers. 1 second, I'm having technical difficulties. Um, 1 second. Okay, when you reach an area of support, just like here, a major area of support, you got to expect for buyers to start coming in. You just have to expect that. Just like when you reach a major area of resistance, you got to expect for sellers to start coming in because we're smart traders. We sell from the top and we buy from the bottom. So if you're in a sale here, you have to know that that sale is not going to go on forever. So you got to, be aware of where you are in the market. Be aware of your zones that you're approaching. So if you're in this sale that I'm pointing at and you're reaching your areas, you've done really well. You've gotten probably over 200 pips right here. Yes, you've done well. If you're lucky enough to catch that, take your profit. Like this is where greed catches us. We want more, we want more. And this is the daily, of course. This is the daily. I'm just using this as an example. When you reach a major area of support, expect for buyers to come in. The question you need to ask yourself is, how strong are these buyers coming in? What is the difference between the pullback I'm getting now than the previous pullback? That's what helps me realize Okay, is this going to reverse on me or is this going to keep going? Do I need to stay in the trade or do I need to exit? Some traders just, on very conservative traders, they trade from zone to zone. They enter, they get their move, and then they exit on the next zone. I think that's very smart. But you have some traders that will want to stay in the trade and catch the entire move. That's kind of like how I am, but it can kind of get you in trouble. So it's pushed me to learn what signs I need to look for if this trade is reversing on me. For example, this is a very strong downtrend. It reaches a key level of our support. Of course, we got pullbacks coming in because what pullbacks verify that our trend will keep going. But because we have reached an area of support, we should expect things to change. This is how I'm trying to get us to start thinking. Expect things to change because they're going to change. That way it won't catch you off surprise and you won't lose all your profit, or you won't jump out the trade too early. So this is a perfect area right here. Reaches our area of support. We have buyers that come into the market. So the down move continues, you get a pullback. And then the down move continues, but it doesn't keep going. You understand? It doesn't cross our low. It goes up even higher. It goes deeper than that. I don't want to dig too deep into it, but you need to understand what price is doing. If price is going to reverse on you, these are the signs that shows you your pullbacks get bigger, stronger, your down move slows down. This down move happened really fast. This happened within a matter of days, compared to this down move. It took a little bit longer than this move. And this is even shorter distance if I'm making sense. But when you get stronger pull in, especially at your level of support, and price continues to go up and not crossing your low, then that's a great signal for you to start thinking about getting out the trade and taking your profit. Again, I don't want to confuse, anyone, so I won't go too deep off into that. It's so much more than that, but we'll do that on another webinar. Um, so that was basically, one second. I think I lost my mouse. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Okay, boom, I have it back. Okay, so let me go down to the 1 hour chart to really get into this. So remember our big down move that was happening over here. You got a big pullback. Okay, no problem. Down move, pullback, down move. So this pullback here, one of the first indications, and I know people say, well, Adriane, it's easier to see now because it's not it happened already. What if I don't see that? What if I just see this? Well, that's where patience comes in. What if you do just see that? What if you just see that and price is coming and you see a pullback and but look at the strength of this pullback versus this pullback. Look at the size and the speed of these buyers versus that buyer. So comparing your current pullback, just simply stated, of it's more than this. It's more than this. But simply stated, comparing your current pullback to your previous pullback gives you a great indication of the market turning on you or not. That's very important, especially if you're in a key area of support. Especially, pullback happen all the time, but there are different types of pullbacks. So we've already marked up our chart. We already know where our target is. We know that down here is a level of support. But we said, okay, the sellers seem pretty strong. Of course, we don't see the future. Sellers seem pretty strong. I'm going to go ahead and stay in it. Okay? Nothing's happening. It's okay. Not bad. Pullback is okay. You get up, you go get some soup or something. You come back and you see this strong buyer right here. This is a very strong buyer, and it has reached the level of your previous pullback. But again, it's a valid pullback because it hasn't reached as in fib levels. Okay, we will talk about fib levels later as well, but I think we all know about fib levels. So we keep going, we keep going, we keep going, and price drops on us again. So we're thinking, okay, cool, I'm okay, I'm okay. Price is doing, what I wanted to do, but look at your sale compared to your previous sale. You have more buyers in there. Price is struggling to go down. The flow is way slower, and it stops here. And the flow of the sale stops here, and you have more buyers coming in. This is where you need to be like, okay, maybe I need to get out of this sale if you hadn't gotten out already. So my point of this is knowing where you are, and this has led to our buy. This has led to our buy. Now, of course, this can go up here and turn around and fall. We can have news. We can have all kind of stuff that could change this. But my point of this is saying knowing where you are in the market, knowing where your levels are, and compare your pullbacks. That has helped me so much. Compare your pullbacks, especially when you're at a level of major support or resistance. What does your current pullback look in comparison to your previous pullback? Is it stronger? Do you have more buyers in the market? Are they fighting for price? Apparently, this price is very important to the buyers because they have yet to let the sellers pass this price right here. So this is something that the buyers are going to fight for. This is why you have this struggle right here. And it looks like they're winning so far. So hopefully that was pretty well explained. I hope people that hear this understand it. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out to me. But that's kind of the basis of support and resistance. Go to your weekly, pull up your line chart, mark your areas of I hate the word, I like to say bounce. Mark your areas where the market holds. I like where price holds, because this is a bounce, this is a bounce, this is a bounce, this is a bounce, but it may not be a major area of support. But where you see price holding, held here, price held here, price held here, price held here. When you see where you see price holding, that's where you mark your areas of support and resistance. Not to confuse whatever you have learned from Mike. I'm pretty much saying the same thing he's saying. I'm just saying it a different way. So you first go to the weekly, mark up your areas, go down to the smaller time frame, the daily, and identify your trend. Identify which way you're going to go. Are you buying or are you selling? What are the big boys doing? This looks like a sale on the daily with a pullback. That's what it looks like. But if you go to a smaller time frame, it looks like a buy. It looks like a buy is happening. And it will probably come here and fall again. So this is just where you just have to keep studying, keep your risk low. Always buy from the bottom when you get your confirmation. Don't buy here. Please remember that. Don't buy here. Don't here. It's almost buying your favorite pair of shoes. Those Louis Vuitton 2000 to their 900. I don't know how much they cost. I don't wear Louis Vuitton shoes, but I'm just saying, sale on your discount. Wait till price drops, because it's going to give you a pullback. And if price runs off and leaves you, then move to the next trade. There are so many setups happening in the market. Don't get so stuck on one trade. AU is my baby, but it has clearly run off and left me. I would be crazy to buy up here. I just told Mike, before I touch AU, I need to see a discount. I don't want to buy AU at $2,000. I want to buy AU when it's a couple $100 when it falls back down here. So just try to keep that in mind. Just like selling. You don't want to sell down here. You don't want to sell your iPhone when it's $50. You want to sell your iPhone up here when it's $1,000, because that's more money for you. So hopefully it made sense. I'm about at the end of my webinar. Chanello, do you have any questions, my love? Chanello, talk to me, darling. I, I hear a little noise. I think you're trying to say something, but I don't hear anything. Are you muted? Okay, I don't have you muted, but I hear a little background noise. Use the chat. Use the chat if you have a question or something, because I can't hear you. Danilo is a great trader, guys. She's a fellow nurse. We've been knowing each other for several years, and we've decided to trade and learn a new skill and start this generational wealth journey. And it's been great. So, Chanello, if you don't have any questions, I'm going to stop the recording, and hopefully you guys, I explained it pretty good. And if you have any questions, I'm always on the platform. Some of you have my number. Please don't hesitate to reach out. We are all learning together. I'm still learning. You're ever learning. Always a skill. I will talk to you guys soon and have a great night. Good night.